The film opens with a beautiful woman named Anne, living a comfortable life with a fairly successful career. Meanwhile, a man named Jeff continues to pay attention to her, as if wanting to get to know her. A few days later, Jeff manages to meet Anne and chat at a cafe. It turns out Jeff has been paying attention to Anne for a while and seems attracted to her. From then on, they grow closer and eventually marry. Anne is truly happy, and so is Jeff. They often share intimate moments, like any other couple. However, as time goes on, that happiness fades. Anne becomes increasingly busy with her career, leaving her with little time for her husband. Meanwhile, Jeff has just been fired from his job, and is so busy that she consistently refuses any invitations to be intimate, which naturally stresses him out. Slowly, Anne begins to realize that she hasn't been paying enough attention to her family. She wants to fix this. She wants to surprise her husband, but unfortunately, she finds Jeff enjoying a playful moment with his friend. From then on, their relationship became increasingly unclear, and Anne even lost focus on her work. Until one day, a young man named Brian saw Anne looking sad. He tried to approach her, but Anne seemed indifferent, and continued to hope that Jeff would change and rebuild everything from scratch, but Jeff became increasingly forgetful. He seemed close to a woman named Christina, and also noticed this, so she went to the woman and spoke to her, and appeared angry, but Christina seemed equally brave with Anne. When she got home, Anne demanded an explanation from Jeff, and an argument was inevitable. This all happened because Anne was too busy and didn't pay enough attention to Jeff, but that wasn't an excuse for Jeff to play behind her back. Anne tried to confide in her friend, Carmela, but she also blamed Anne for being too busy with her work. Jeff also needed attention, and perhaps this was why he sought other escapes. Meanwhile, Brian continued to approach and, giving her attention, and they saw each other more often. Their closeness grew increasingly unusual, until one night, Anne was taken to Brian's house and they made love for the first time. Brian said he had been married before and had separated, and now he wanted to live with Anne. However, as time went by, Brian became more controlling of Anne. That same day, while eating with Jeff and their child, he forbade her and asked her to stay away from Jeff. Until one day, a shocking fact was revealed. Brian hadn't separated from his wife. It was all a ruse by Brian to get close to Anne. Brian's wife approached and threatened to report this to the police. Anne was both sad and scared, but fortunately, Jeff was there to calm her down. Meanwhile, Carmela was also ready to defend Anna, especially since she was a lawyer. Until one day, Anne met Brian's wife again, where she apologized and said she didn't know he hadn't separated, and also told her about the problems she was facing at home. Finally, Brian's wife relented, and the lawsuit was dropped. Moments later, Brian meets and apologizes for his mistakes. He still loves her, but they can't be together. Meanwhile, Anne and Jeff have reconciled, but they still decide to separate. Jeff promises to always be there for Anne and their child, because they are still family. Until the film finally ends.